Hello and welcome to the TES Secondary Maths Resource of the Week number 13 with me, Craig Barton. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes revision for GCSE exams can become a little bit of a drag. And for one reason or another, my Year 11s have actually pretty much finished the GCSE course at the moment. And I'm looking for ways to keep them engaged and keep them ticking over and keep their creativity going and keep them basically enjoying their mathematics so that they're going to be ready for the exam when eventually it comes round. And this has been one of the most successful things I've used with them. It's absolutely wonderful. Higher GCSE visual prompts that's kindly been uploaded by a wonderful resource sharer, Mark Greenaway. I've been a fan of his work for a good few years now. And it's a PowerPoint presentation, and it looks like this. And there's the instructions there. You'll be presented with a series of diagrams taken from an exam paper. Your task is to make up a possible question using the diagram and then answer it. And it's exactly what it says. It's a series of visual prompts that kind of give the diagram but without the question or sometimes some of the key information that goes alongside it. And it's over to the students to try and come up with one. Now, I'll just show you a couple of these and then I'll tell you what I did with my Year 11s. So, sorry, the first one's quite a structured algebraic one. It kind of leads itself down an algebraic path. But problem 2, that could be interpreted in many different ways. And indeed, my Year 11s did interpret it in many different ways. 3 as well, I mean, it's clearly something to do with circle theorems, but what could the actual question be for that one? And 4, I mean, I love that one. That's very, very open-ended. That could be lots of different areas of maths. And it carries on like this. Now, what I did with my students is I got them into groups and I gave each group 3 of these cards and I mixed them up. Some groups had the same prompt card, but no 2 groups had the same 3, if that makes sense. And it was down to them to try and make up as many different questions as they could with it. And what I tried to get them to do, I mean, they're a very good group, this, and they're very, very keen on their maths, is I challenged them a little bit further. I said, don't just write me a question. Can you allocate some marks to it? Can you do me a little mark scheme to go alongside it? Because they're used to seeing lots of mark schemes when we go through the exam papers. And then, and this was the hardest bit, can you allocate a grade? What kind of level do you think answering this question's at? And in my ideal world, and only a few of the groups managed to do this, can you write me a few questions for each prompt that hit different grade areas, different levels of complexity? And the kids really, really rose to the challenge. And it ended up taking us 2 lessons to create these questions and come up with the mark schemes. And then we've had another 2 lessons where we're going around answering each other's questions. And some of the stuff they're coming out with is absolutely brilliant. So for example, problem 2, the actual exam question itself is about a volume of a cone. But some of my students were saying things like working out the perimeter of the shape. One student was taking it into a question about a lawn and the amount of cost it's going to take to put seeds over this lawn and all that kind of stuff. It allows their creativity really to come to the forefront. This one's particularly nice as well. Now, I'm having a look at that and I'm wondering what the question's about myself. Is it something to do with parallel lines and angles? Is it an angle fact question? Is it something to do with similar triangles, enlargement, area scale factor? It could even, I guess, be a vectors style question. There's loads of ways that it could be interpreted. In fact, it is something to do with similar triangles and similar shapes. And there's one with a hemisphere and so on. There's just loads and loads of scope for this. And I'm all in favour of giving students the creativity to really explore their mathematics. And it's hitting all your number algebra shape, a lovely little graph question there. That's really, really nice. I mean, just think of all the richness that there is there. What different questions could be asked for that particular prompt. And yeah, if you're looking for a way of spicing up things in a bit of a different task, I would strongly, strongly, strongly recommend it. The students may need quite a bit of support and a bit of structure to it, and you probably need to be on hand just to give them a few little hints and pointers if they need it. But pretty soon, I really think they'll enjoy the freedom that goes along with something like this. And as I say, my particular Year 11s got so much out of this. It was a really, really enjoyable set of 4 lessons, and I think that they are better mathematicians as a result of it. So thanks so much, Mark, for uploading this resource. And if you use it, if I can ask you just to pop down at the bottom of the page on the comments and just say how you used it or how you found it or any thoughts or ideas that you've got, and that'd be absolutely brilliant. And I shall return with a fresh resource of the week next week. Take care and bye for now.